My wife, secretly a multimillionaire CEO of a major corporation, spent 5 years pretending to be poor and sick just to test if I was after her money. All that time, I thought she was a fellow sufferer, just like me. To cure her supposed illness, I worked myself to the bone, sun up to sundown, surviving on a single cup of instant noodles a day. It wasn't until I saw her gift a villa in Miami to her childhood sweetheart that I finally understood she wasn't a destitute part-timer, but the president of a publicly listed company. To save money for my wife's treatment, I took a job as a server on a luxury yacht. In a daze, I thought I was hallucinating when I saw her. Sophia, draped in a high-end evening gown, looked so regal and beautiful it made her seem like a stranger. Holding my tray, I froze, staring at her in disbelief. It really was Sophia. I put down the tray and pulled out my phone, checking the message she'd sent me just half an hour ago. "Honey, I have so many deliveries tonight. I'll be home late." Sophia worked at a mall during the day and delivered food at night. If I hadn't seen her with my own eyes, surrounded by a group of laughing trust fund kids, I would have believed she was still out delivering food. Because I wasn't feeling well, I was wearing a mask. She didn't notice me. A woman standing next to Sophia spoke up, "Seriously, how long has it been since you came out to hang with us?" Sophia took a sip of her drink, replying casually, "Been busy lately." Someone teased, "Busy with your man? You've been with him for, what, 2 or 3 years now? Haven't gotten tired of him yet? Don't tell me you actually fell for him." A cold sneer appeared in Sophia's eyes. "How could I possibly fall for someone like Ethan? He's just for fun. Otherwise life gets too boring." "Exactly, MS. Hayes is going to inherit the Hayes family fortune, billions. That guy isn't worthy of her." My mind went completely blank. I'd suspected she might have money. But I never imagined she was the CEO of Hayes Corporation, from such a prestigious and wealthy background. Not at all the poor little things she claimed to be, who dropped out of school young, grew up poor, and barely had enough to eat. This luxury yacht belonged to her too. I didn't understand. Why would she hide her identity and lie to me? Then I heard Sophia let out a derisive laugh. "You guys have no idea what an idiot he is. I told him I have kidney failure and need a transplant. And he started working like crazy, day and night, saying he wants to save up money for my transplant. Isn't he stupid? He even gave me the $5,000 he'd saved. That was everything he had." The surrounding rich kids burst into laughter. "Never seen a guy that dumb. $5,000 wouldn't even cover that drink in your hand. Noah's back now, Amos. Hayes. Time to settle down, right?" Sophia nodded, "Of course." My fingers tightened around my phone, my heart feeling like it was being pricked by countless needles, the pain making it hard to breathe. $5,000 was all I could save by pinching every penny. Right now, I could feel my genuine affection being thrown on the ground and trampled by them. It hurt so much. I would never forget the day Sophia told me she'd been diagnosed with kidney failure, crying in my arms. At that moment, my whole world collapsed. Our combined income barely covered living expenses, couldn't possibly afford the hundreds of thousands needed for treatment. Seeing the troubled look on my face, Sophia comforted me, "Honey, it's okay, let's not treat it. I'm still young, I'll be fine." She said she'd be fine, but the fear and worry in her eyes were undeniable. Looking at her pitiful state, I was instantly reminded of my grandmother. I was abandoned by my parents at birth and raised by my grandma. Later she got sick, but I was still in school and had no money for her treatment. I could only watch helplessly as she passed away. I couldn't save my grandma back then, but I had to save Sophia now. So I worked desperately, taking any dirty, tiring job I could find, as long as it paid, even working myself sick. But it turned out the kidney failure was fake. She deliberately lied to me. In her eyes, I was just an idiot. No wonder every time I offered to go with her to the hospital for checkups, she always made excuses, saying the tests were too expensive. And I stupidly believed her, thinking she was just trying to save money. How incredibly foolish I was. After a little while, a man approached Sophia. Dressed head to toe in designer brands, he looked every bit the rich young master. He was Sophia's childhood friend, Noah. I quickly lowered my head, looking down at my sneakers, $35, worn for years, already yellowed, but I couldn't bear to throw them away. Sophia took out a box and handed it to Noah. "Noah, this is a gift for you. Welcome back." Noah took it, opened the box, and inside was a property deed. Someone nearby leaned in to look and exclaimed, "Is that the villa on Ocean Drive? That place costs at least $5 million. MS. Hayes, you're really generous to Noah." Noah smiled, "Don't be jealous. Sophia and I grew up together, we're very close. She probably worried I wouldn't have a place to stay after coming back, so she got me a villa." Sophia looked at Noah. A faint blush appearing on her cheeks. "As long as you like it, Noah." The way Sophia looked at Noah was something I had never seen before. Her eyes sparkled. My heart instantly felt like it was bleeding. A $5 million villa, I wouldn't even dare dream of it. I remembered a few days ago seeing a watch I really liked online, $248. I had never bought such an expensive watch, but I truly liked it. I showed it to Sophia. She thought $248 was too expensive, saying everyone uses their phones to check the time now, there was no need for a watch. If I really wanted one, I should just get a cheap one for a few bucks online. Thinking about her illness, I immediately abandoned the idea. Because I was poor, did that mean I only deserved cheap things? My body shivered in the cold wind, but my heart felt colder than the ocean water. Whether it was seasickness or something else, my stomach churned violently. I turned and ran to the restroom, ripped off my mask, and vomited uncontrollably. To save money, I often ate only 1 cup of instant noodles a day, which gave me gastritis. Now, the pain in my stomach was so intense I broke out in a cold sweat. After throwing up, I squatted on the floor, burying my face in my hands, shaking with sobs. I thought I had found a love where we supported each other through thick and thin, but it turned out to be a nightmare, a happy marriage, a good wife. It was all fake. Sophia and I met in a bar. I was working part-time selling drinks, and some customers deliberately gave me a hard time, even beating me up. Sophia took me to the hospital. I was grateful and treated her to dinner. After that, I kept running into her, our eyes meeting several times. One thing led to another, and we got together. I always believed that although Sophia came from a poor background, she was strong, optimistic, and treated me well. Always caring, never arguing, emotionally stable. I thought I'd hit the jackpot. Thinking back carefully, her supposed love for me was all talk, never backed by any real actions. Yet, I was deeply moved by the love she acted out, constantly thinking about how to earn money to support our family. After learning about her illness, I worked even harder, wanting to cure her. How utterly ridiculous. I clutched my chest, feeling the suffocating pain, biting my sleeve and crying silently. Why did she do this to me? Getting off the yacht, I don't know how I managed to get home. Reaching the door, my legs gave out, and I collapsed on the ground. Tear the fluid uncontrollably again. I hugged my knees and wept loudly. Eventually, I fell asleep right there. I opened my eyes to see Sophia looking at me with an anxious, panicked expression. "Why did you fall asleep at the door? Are you feeling unwell?" I looked at her silently, saying nothing. Sophia grew even more anxious. "Don't scare me, say something." Seeing her feigned concern, I found it incredibly ironic. She helped me up. I instinctively wanted to push her away, but I had no strength. Once inside, I looked around the shabby apartment and at Sophia, who was busy pouring me water. She had already changed into the cheap clothes I bought her from a street stall. She handed me a plastic bag she'd brought back. "Honey, I brought you some late-night snacks. Eat up." Looking at the cold food, which seemed strangely familiar, I forced a weak smile, probably leftovers scavenged from some table on the yacht. In her eyes, I only deserved other people's scraps. Nausea washed over me again, and I rushed to the bathroom to vomit. Having eaten almost nothing all day, only stomach acid came up. Sophia asked, "Honey, maybe we should go to the hospital for a checkup?" Sophia looked guilty. "Honey, I'm so sorry. If it weren't for my kidney failure, you wouldn't have to work so hard. It's all my fault. Honey, without you I don't know what I would do." I closed my eyes, wanting to laugh at her words, but I couldn't muster a smile. Sophia picked up a piece of meat from the table and held it to my lips. "Honey, this is really good. I turned my head away. I don't want to eat. Sophia's expression faltered, seemingly noticing something was off about my demeanor. Once you get better, let's have a baby, okay? She knew you'd always wanted a child. Looking at her tender, affectionate face, I laughed. How could she be such a good actress? I looked at Sophia. Are you telling the truth? At this moment, I truly hoped she would have a pang of conscience and confess everything to me. Sophia nodded vigorously. Of course it's true, honey. When have you ever lied to you? She was too deceitful. I wanted desperately to rip off her mask right then and there, tell her I knew everything, that she didn't need to pretend anymore, but my mind was a mess. I needed to calm down and think. The next day, I woke up to find Sophia had already left for work. She had made porridge for me. I took out my phone and sent her a message. Come home early tonight, I need to talk to you. I quickly received her reply, okay honey, followed by a kissing emoji. Before this would have made me happy, now it just felt disgusting. I didn't touch the porridge she made. He left the straight for work. During the day, I worked at a company office. After work, I went to my second job as a waiter at a restaurant. No matter what, I still needed to earn money. As soon as I changed into my uniform and came out, I saw Noah. Maya is froze. What a coincidence. He signaled me over to take his order. I walked over stiffly, handed him the menu, poured him a glass of water. Noah picked up the glass, his expression changing instantly. This water is scalding. How am I supposed to drink this? With that, he threw the hot water at me. I reacted quickly and dodged backward, but some hot water still splashed onto the back of my hand, immediately raising blisters. Meeting his contemptuous gaze, I was certain he recognized me, knew who I was. He was deliberately causing trouble. So I turned to leave, but Noah grabbed me and punched me in the face. Blood instantly trickled from the corner of my lip. I was poor, but my grandmother had always cherished me. I'd never been hit like this before. A burning sensation spread through my nerve. Noah looked down at me condescendingly and snarled, "Who the hell do you think you are, trying to steal Sophia from me?" The manager hurried over, apologizing profusely. "Ethan, apologize to the customer right now." I stood up straight. He did nothing wrong. I won't apologize. The manager, likely aware of Noah's status, flew into a rage. No apology? Then get out. I clenched my fists, forcing myself to endure it. Noah, who made you so angry? A familiar voice suddenly sounded from the entrance. I looked up and met Sophia's eyes. My whole body froze. Sophia saw me, a flicker of something strange in her eyes. But her expression returned to normal in the next second. He understood. In front of Noah, she wanted to pretend she didn't know me. Her indifference pierced my eyes. I knew she didn't love me, but seeing her stand by coldly still hurt. After all, I had once truly loved her, cherished her like a treasure. Thankfully, this was all about to end. Noah looked at Sophia fuming. "Sophia, this waiter just tried to scold me." Sophia didn't look at me, she looked at Noah. "Let's see some more else." Noah walked up to me, leaned in close, and provoked me in a low voice. "A poor bum like you shouldn't dream of climbing the social ladder. Sophia belong only to me." Fury instantly rushed to my head. Unable to bear it any longer, I swung my fist and hit him squarely in the face. Sophia stared at me in disbelief. "Ethan." Noah glared at me fiercely. "You dare eat me?" Ignoring Noah, I stared straight at Sophia and asked with a smile, "Done pretending?" Seeing me smile, Sophia seemed to understand. She then said, "I'll explain when we get home tonight." At this point, what was there left to explain? Did she think I'd still be fooled after knowing the whole truth? "Sophia, let's get a divorce." Sophia thought I was joking, didn't answer, and just pulled Noah away. I looked down at my scalded hand, then touched my face, only realizing it was wet with tears. The manager was still ranting about me being fired, but I couldn't hear anything. I went to change out of my uniform and left. There wasn't much, just a few clothes and some toiletries. I threw everything into the trash bin. To her, these were just rags anyway. At the same time, I contacted the landlord to arrange for the locks to be changed. When Sophia returned, She found she couldn't open the door and had to ring the bell. I went to open it. Looking at her standing outside, I said coolly, "Tomorrow morning, 9:30. Don't be late." "Are you serious?" I sneered. Sophia MS. Hayes, even an idiot wakes up eventually. Sophia pressed her lips together. "How did you find out?" I stated flatly, "Last night, I was working as a server on that yacht." Surprise flickered in Sophia's eyes. She seemed taken aback that I had known since last night but endured until now to confront her. "Ethan, you really want a divorce?" I figured she was used to being in control, and me initiating the divorce bruised her ego. "Yes. We're getting divorced." Sophia asked, "How much money do you want?" I looked at her. "I don't want your money. I just want you to disappear from my life forever." Sophia was even more shocked. "You don't want money?" This was because, in our daily life, I was always extremely frugal, hesitant to spend even $1 unnecessarily. I just grunted an affirmation and moved to close the door. Sophia stopped me. "Ethan, I'm giving you one last chance. You." Before she could finish, I pushed her away and slammed the door shut with a bang. Sophia kept knocking outside. The walls were thin, I could hear her yelling. "Ethan, open the door. If you don't open up, you'll regret it." My biggest regret was ever meeting her. The next morning, I arrived promptly at the city clerk's office. Soon after, Sophia arrived, driving a Ferrari. I knew she was trying to flaunt her wealth at me, but I didn't even glance her way and walked straight inside. It was crowded today, we had to wait in line. While queuing, Sophia's phone suddenly rang. She answered it. Whatever the person on the other end said, her expression instantly became tense. "Noah, wait there for me. I'll be right over." She started to leave as she spoke. I frowned and grabbed her hand. "It'll be our turn soon. Wait until we finish the paperwork." Sophia violently shook off my hand. "Get lost." Her frantic figure felt like plunging into an ice cellar. Towards me it was always an act. But towards Noah, her feelings were genuine. Then why did she ever get involved with me? Thinking this, I chased after her and grabbed her arm again. "No matter what you have going on today, we are getting this divorce. I don't want to be listed as your spouse anymore. It feels dirty." Sophia froze. In the end, I successfully obtained the divorce certificate. Sophia looked conflicted, but she was in a hurry to find Noah and didn't say much more. At noon, I went to a restaurant for lunch, ordering many dishes I usually craved but couldn't afford. Now, I just wanted to treat myself better. Thinking about all the moments I shared with Sophia, tears fell into my bowl. Every night, we slept holding each other. So many days and nights made me believe we would be together forever. I knew she wasn't worth it, but I still felt incredibly sad. The waitress saw me crying and came over to ask if there was something wrong with the food. I shook my head. "It's delicious. I've never had anything this good before." I had been too hard on myself, always thinking about saving money. From today on, I was going to be a happy person. For the next week, I lived freely, eating whatever I wanted, buying whatever I desired, without worrying about the price. I thought Sophia and I would never cross paths again in this lifetime. Unexpectedly, one evening after work, as I walked out of the company building, I saw her standing not far away. As soon as Sophia saw me, she strode towards me. "Ethan." I didn't want to deal with her and tried to walk around her, but Sophia grabbed my hand. "Honey." I shook off her hand in disgust. "Don't call me honey. We're divorced." Sophia managed a smile. "Stop kidding around. I came to pick you up for dinner. I've booked a table at the most expensive restaurant in the city, in downtown Los Angeles." I looked at her coldly. "Sophia, didn't I tell you last time to disappear from my life forever? You're the CEO of a public company, can't you understand simple words?" Sophia's face changed. "Ethan, do you know how many men beg me to take them out to dinner? Don't be ungrateful." This was her true face. The previous gentleness and good temper were all deliberately feigned. Ethan, don't care for it. Get lost. You." Sophia pointed at me, incensed. "Fine, I'll make you come back begging." With that, she left. I thought Sophia was just bluffing, but I never expected her to actually come after me. At the company, I was just an ordinary employee with a manageable workload. But suddenly, the manager seemed like a different person, assigning me tons of work every day, telling me I couldn't leave until it was all done. When I objected, the manager bluntly said if I couldn't handle it, I could quit. Once, I overheard him talking to the boss on the phone and realized Sophia was behind it. She knew I couldn't afford to lose this job, otherwise, I wouldn't even be able to pay rent and would end up homeless. I was furious, yet I had to compromise to survive. During my poorest year, I had even slept under a bridge. So no matter how much work the manager piled on, I finished it before leaving. But eventually, my body couldn't take it anymore. I collapsed while working late one night. When I woke up, I found myself in the hospital. The nurse said my body was too weak and I needed to rest. I didn't say anything. I had pushed myself too hard to make money these past few years. Recovery would take time. The nurse then smiled and added, "Your girlfriend is quite nice, she stayed with you all night." Girlfriend? I was confused. Could it be Sophia? Then I immediately dismissed the thought, it couldn't be her. Just then, the room door opened, and a woman in a blouse walked in. It was Jessica, a colleague from the next apartment. I had run into her a few times but didn't know her well. "Did you bring me to the hospital?" Jessica nodded. She had also been working late last night. Passing by my office, she saw me slumped over my desk. Worried something was wrong, she went in to check on me. When I didn't respond, she immediately went downstairs to get security to help bring me to the hospital. I looked at her. "Thank you so much." The nurse asked me, "Isn't she your girlfriend?" I shook my head awkwardly. "No, she's my colleague." After leaving the hospital, Jessica insisted on taking me home. I was really grateful. "I'll treat you to dinner sometime." When we reached my apartment building, Jessica insisted on walking me upstairs, afraid I might faint again climbing the stairs. I smiled and didn't refuse her kindness. Although she worked in the department right next to mine, I hadn't interacted with her much and didn't know her well. I was surprised by how nice she was. At my apartment door, we unexpectedly saw Sophia standing there. Sophia glanced at Jessica asking unhappily, "Who is she?" Before I could answer, Jessica put her arm around me and looked at Sophia with a smile. "What do you think?" Sophia's face turned green. "Ethan, you really move fast. How long has it been since our divorce, and you've already found a new woman?" Her words made me laugh bitterly. What right did she have to say that? I deliberately wrapped my arm tighter around Jessica. "Hope it makes you furious." Sophia stormed off in anger. After she left, I released Jessica. "Sorry about that. Thanks for helping me." Jessica smiled warmly. "We're colleagues. No need to be polite." That same evening, I received a call from the manager, telling me I was fired for unexcused absence. Subsequently, every job I applied for was rejected without exception. Even restaurants and bars wouldn't hire me. It showed how powerful Sophia's influence was. I refused to give in. If I couldn't stay in this city, I would go to another one, but I had underestimated things. Sophia called me, saying if I didn't relent and come back to her, she would have the company fire Jessica. I yelled furiously, "Sophia, you're despicable." Jessica had been with the company for many years and was reportedly due for a promotion and raise next month. I didn't want to drag an innocent person down and ruin her career. I stayed up all night. The next morning, I called Sophia. When she used to call me honey, I felt happy. Now, it only evoked disgust. After a long pause, I finally said, "I agree." Sophia logged out loud. "I'll send someone to pick you up." And just like that, Sophia and I reconciled. I moved into Sophia's mansion. Looking at the opulent house, my heart felt nothing. Sophia threw her arms around me. "How is it? Aren't you happy?" Seeing her smug face, I played along perfectly, forcing a smile. "Happy," Sophia reached out and caressed my face. "Ethan, I know you hope the end don't make me angry, you can't live here forever." I nodded, turning away so she couldn't see the cold smirk forming on my lips. Sophia thought her wealth and power could toy with my feelings. I would show her that playing with someone's genuine emotions comes at a price. Jessica came looking for me. "Why did you go back to her?" I didn't tell her the real reason, even if it wasn't her. Sophia would have found other ways to force my hand. Just consider me weak. Jessica seemed very disappointed in me, but I didn't explain further. The less contact I had with her the better for her, otherwise, she might get dragged into this. As I was about to leave, she suddenly grabbed my arm. Ethan, if I told you I like you, would you change your mind? It froze for a moment. Recovering, I said, Jessica, thank you for liking me. I'm sorry. Jessica was a good person. If Sophia hadn't existed, perhaps I might have accepted her, but there were no ifs. Right now, I had no desire for romance anymore. I pulled my hand away and walked briskly forward. Sophia had people buy loads of designer clothes and watches and deliver them to the house. She even wanted to have a child with me. Dream on. Noah was furious when he found out I was living in Sophia's mansion. He came over yelling at me, "What right do you have to live here? Get out." Sophia had initially been very fond of Noah, even thinking about marrying him, but she accidentally discovered his chaotic private life abroad, juggling her while still entangled with ex-girlfriends. A proud heiress like Sophia naturally couldn't accept that. Compared to the fickle Noah, she preferred a man like me, honest and easier to control. Now Noah regretted it and wanted to win Sophia back. I looked at him coolly. This is my wife's house. What right do you have to tell me to get out? Noah grabbed me in frustration. Get out. I immediately bowed my head low. I'm sorry, Monsieur Davis. He won't do it again. Please don't hit me. Noah, what are you doing? Sophia rushed over and pulled me behind her. Ethan, did he hit you again? I shook my head without speaking, making myself look even more pitiful. Noah became agitated, trying to hit me, but Sophia pushed him to the ground. Enough. Noah stared at Sophia in shock. You pushed me? You pushed me for him. Sophia looked at him coldly. Noah, you're not allowed in my house anymore. With that, she led me upstairs. In the room, Sophia kept comforting me. Honey, it's okay. I'll protect you. I won't let him bully you again. I knew a woman like her was heartless, incapable of truly loving me or Noah. She came back to me because, in her world, I was like an anomaly. She found me novel, a diversion to spice up her life. But what did I do wrong to be treated like this? A casual word from her could destroy my life, Jessica's life. It was so unfair. I believed she would face retribution. If not, then I would deliver it myself. Sophia trusted me completely, not only allowing me free access to her company and study, but also frequently showing me important contracts, bragging about the billions and deals she had signed. I didn't reveal my true feelings, instead praising her effusively, providing ample emotional validation. This made her trust me even more, as in her eyes, I had always been the honest, kind man who didn't care about material possessions. I knew someone like Sophia couldn't possibly run her business cleanly. I began observing secretly and collected a significant amount of evidence. Finally, I submitted the proof of her company's tax evasion to the relevant authorities. The very next day, Hayes Corporation was in trouble. Sophia was completely unprepared, caught off guard. She scrambled to pull strings, but hit dead ends everywhere. Society is harsh. Once the Hayes family ran into trouble, everyone avoided them like the plague, even rushing to sever ties. Simultaneously, news broke that several major projects Hayes Corporation was involved in had quality issues. The company plunged into an unprecedented crisis. Sophia couldn't handle the immense blow. She locked herself in her room, refusing to eat or drink. At mealtime, the maid asked me to persuade her to come down and eat. I ate my meal quietly, ignoring the request. After finishing, I went upstairs. Looking at Sophia lying asleep on the bed, I narrowed my eyes. Just as I was about to leave, my phone rang. It was Noah, roaring with rage. Ethan, was the Hayes Corporation incident you're doing? He wasn't entirely stupid. It was me. So what? Noah cursed me out using every word imaginable. Throughout his tirade, I remained largely impassive. When he finally finished, I said calmly, I have a gift for you too. Just wait. Then I hung up. He called back, but I didn't answer. Looking up, I met Sophia's hate-filled eyes. She launched at me, grabbing my clot. Why, Ethan? Why would you do this? Haven't I treated you well? Letting you live in a mansion, drive luxury cars, live the life of the rich? Why did you betray me? I blinked innocently. What are you talking about? I don't understand a word. Perhaps my acting was too convincing. Sophia's expression suddenly froze. She started doubting whether I was telling the truth. I looked at her. Sophia, when you did those things, you should have expected this day would come. If you hadn't done them, no one could touch you. Sophia collapsed onto the floor. She tore at her long hair, sobbing, looking helpless and terrified. How could this happen? I'm finished. I believed that now, she was truly broken. I squatted in front of her, patting her cheek. You only have yourself to blame. What goes around comes around. Sophia seemed lost in some kind of daze, her expression wooden. I left Sophia's mansion without taking anything, because nothing there truly belonged to me. Gazing at the dark night sky, my heart was calm. Finally, this day had arrived. As I left, news about Noah's chaotic private life abroad, being involved with both men and women, exploded online. It was a massive scandal. His plans to enter the entertainment industry and start acting were completely ruined. Later, I heard Noah offered to use all his savings to help Sophia, but she refused. Then, Sophia was hospitalized. She was diagnosed with kidney failure, end stage. Heaven's retribution might be delayed, but it never fails to arrive. Sophia searched for me frantically, but she didn't know I had already moved to another city, maybe Austin. We would never see each other again in this life. I found a stable job and spent my free time studying for certifications. I believed my future would be bright. One weekend afternoon, I was reading in a coffee shop. I looked up and saw Jessica's face. It had been over half a year, but she looked the same. Jessica sat down opposite me, smiling warmly. I smiled back. How come you're here? I quit my job. I was slightly taken aback. Her position should have been promoted to supervisor level by now, with a high salary. Why did you quit? Jessica started at me. For you, Ethan. I like you. Give me a chance. Let's start over in this city, okay? My eyes suddenly turned red. Is it worth it? Jessica stood up, walked over to me, and said with a gentle smile, for me there's no worth it or not worth it. I just know I want to be with you. I looked at her and asked, did you know back then that I only agreed because of you? Jessica cut me off. No, Ethan. The first time I saw you at the company, I fell for you. I was just too timid back then to pursue you actively. Now I know, happiness is something you have to fight for. Ethan, actually, I misspoke just now. I don't just like you. She paused, her voice choking up. I love you. Tears streamed down my face as I reached up to hug her back. I love you too. It turns out that people who truly love each other will find their way back to each other, even after twists and turns. I am very lucky to have met someone who truly loves me.